Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. I'm Mark Martin. American forces recently stopped a Russian convoy in Syria from reaching the Smelka crossing on the border with Iraq. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, 4 U.S. armored vehicles intercepted the Russian vehicles, closing parts of the road and causing traffic congestion. U.S. troops reportedly escorted the Russian convoy back to the main road before they continued back to their airbase. Another incident earlier this week saw U.S. troops in eastern Syria block Russian soldiers from advancing towards the Rumelia oil fields. Both of these incidents come after a Russian warship approached the U.S. Navy's USS Truman strike group in the northern Arabian Sea. Today, NATO holds a large presence in international waters, which is vital to security, including in the Black Sea. Ever since Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea and its subsequent military buildup in the Black Sea, the security situation has deteriorated. The Black Sea is also a crossroads between Europe and Asia and an important waterway for trade and commerce.
The Black Sea is the lifeblood of the nations that border it, an important waterway for trade and commerce. It is also a crossroads between Europe and Asia. Home to NATO allies Bulgaria, Romania and Turkey, and NATO partners Georgia and Ukraine, any instability in the region impacts the NATO alliance and threatens European security.
The Black Sea currently is faced with some significant strategic challenges. It's crucial that NATO shows its presence in this area of the world, shows solidarity with our allies and the other nations who are faced with those challenges on a day-to-day basis. NATO is going to be there to come and help if the needs arise.
The security situation in the Black Sea has got worse since Russia illegally annexed Crimea. Russia has increased its presence in the region and expanded its Black Sea fleet. Events such as the seizure of Ukrainian ships and sailors in 2018 have also increased tensions in the area.
In response to Russia's aggressive actions, NATO has stepped up its presence in the Black Sea region over the past few years.
At the Warsaw Summit in 2016, NATO announced plans to boost its presence in the Black Sea region with a tailored forward presence that increased air, land and naval forces. In 2018, NATO ships spent 120 days in the Black Sea, up from 80 the previous year. NATO also continues to train and exercise with partners Georgia and Ukraine, offering practical support and strategic guidance.
Because the Black Sea doesn't belong to one country, I think it's important to continue exercising that all units and all nations do have that freedom to be able to navigate where is either necessary or where nations want to. And so being here in the Black Sea with NATO just enforces that freedom of navigation.
NATO's increased presence in the Black Sea demonstrates its commitment to allies and partners in the region, while sending a clear signal that freedom of navigation is assured and that the waterways remain open for business.
For Bulgaria and also for European security, I believe Black Sea is very important because we are at the borderline of the European Union and also we are at the borderline of NATO. And how we defend our country equals the way we are defending NATO and Europe as well.
Despite rising tensions in the Middle East, military members stationed in the United Arab Emirates continue to work full force toward their core mission.
Why do we do this? Why are we here? The answer is simple. Freedom. Al Dhafra Air Base, located in the United Arab Emirates and home to the 380th Air Expeditionary Wing, plays a critical role in a tumultuous time. Our mission is urgent: to deliver air power that provides deterrence and stability, defend the region against emerging threats, and develop and strengthen relationships with our partner nations. We are the prime example of a modern-day, multi-service, forward-deployed airbase. It's through our technology and state-of-the-art warfighting capabilities we own the air. ADAB uniquely delivers all 5 Air Force Corps missions, each vitally important to the defense of our national interests. Rapid global mobility, global strike, air and space superiority, command and control, and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Each task done so with the goal of perfection. United with our partner nations, we may attack the enemy when necessary. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We do not rest. We do not sleep. We do not grow weary. Our mission serves in the defense of freedom, protection of our partner nations' civilians, and the defeat of our common enemies. We are writing our lineage, our history, and ultimately the pages in the chapter of victory. Al Dhafra Air Base. Deliver, defend, develop.
Meanwhile, back here at home, airmen at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona are training for any and all scenarios and how to work as a team when deployed.
For the last 4 months, we've been doing different phases of training, from convoy to team movement, individual movement. And so we've just been slowly training our folks with that information and allowing them to develop some of those basic skills. However, that's more regimented. It's instructor to student type training, where this is that environment where now we are turning it over to the students. We're allowing them to take what they've learned and start executing it.
Split up, let's go.
At any given time, we're expected to be able to fill the shoes of somebody else. So this gives that platform for them to be able to support security forces, because at the end of the day, that's what we're testing out here is how do you go in, set up a stronghold, and actually fortify and secure an area, right? And address threats as they present themselves. So with that kind of information, it allows us to be able to pick the wing up, go, and then have airmen that are capable of meeting an environmental situations that they typically wouldn't be accustomed to if we didn't do training like this. So it's not just about us defending the base, it's about us winning the fight.
Coming up, how one soldier's deployment to the Middle East changed his life and the struggles he had to overcome when he got back.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, a new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
Administering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to CBNNewsChannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News. Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Welcome back to On the Home Front. U.S. Air Force Senior Airman Nicholas Dutton struggles with post-traumatic stress after his deployment to Afghanistan in the summer of 2018. He discusses what he saw, what happened when he got home, and how he eventually found peace of mind.
I've been fishing about just as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories are fishing out on the rivers with my father, and it's just been a passion ever since I was born, really. So I deployed to Afghanistan in the summer of 2018. I was tasked under the Special Operations Task Force Afghanistan, so I was working with Green Berets as a enabler to help document their missions. I think overall, the deployment, it really kind of helped me grow as a person and introduced me to a lot of things I don't think I would have ever experienced before, and just kind of showed me a different aspect of life. And honestly, I wasn't mentally prepared for it or mentally equipped to handle some of the stuff I did and some of the stuff I saw. And so when I got back, it took me a second to kind of readjust to normal life. So if I was to think of a single instance that really kind of messed me up, we were doing an advised operation for some of the Afghan withdrawal for their normal troops. And so we weren't on the mission, we were just kind of, hey, you need to get from point A to point B. And I was attached to the field surgical team at the time, and so I was documenting and assisting with all the casualties that came in. We had a mass count with over 25 casualties. And so, I mean, it was probably the first time I ever saw people lose limbs and, you know, that whole documentation process, people coming in with gunshot wounds and trying to find that balance between where do I help, where do I document, because I don't think morally as a human being I could have just documented the whole time. And it really made me question a lot of things in my life. You know, why was I really here? What's really the point of all this? And more than anything, that kind of mentally had me going for loops and kind of messed me up when I got back, because it took me a long time to justify a lot of that in my mind. I mean, I knew I was in a bad place mentally when I first got back. I mean, I was getting in a lot of trouble. I was questioning a lot of authority. I was picking fights that didn't need to be picked, and I was starting fights where there was no reason to start a fight. But when it finally hit home, I was home on Christmas, and I was talking about a upcoming shoulder surgery I was having because I messed up my shoulder while I was out there as well. And then I was talking to my mom and dad about it, and my 13-year-old sister, she comes up and she's like, "Oh, you gonna fix your brain when you fix your shoulder too?" And that hit home. That's kind of when I knew, you know what, I probably should start focusing on mental health, not just the physical aspect. And so it was after I got home from that Christmas trip that I started going to mental health. It took a lot of willpower for me to go to mental health because, you know, of course, I did believe there was some type of stigma. I was like, I don't need that, I'm fine, whatever. You know, I don't want people looking at me being like, oh man, he has mental problems. But it really wasn't like that. You know, you go in, you talk to your doctor, and you kind of just start working through some things that I didn't have the personal ability or skills to be able to work through, and that's where they come in, because they're trained to help you work through trauma, or you're having a bad day, or you don't know how to handle this situation. That's what they're there for, and it did me a lot of good.
Trying not to let them bite me.
So I started fishing a lot more when I got back from Afghanistan. It took me a while to get back into it, you know, a couple months, but I found that the more time I had to myself and didn't have to worry about anything else, you know, I didn't have to think about, hey, I'm having problems with this person at work, or oh, dang, I got in trouble again, or oh man, I got chewed out again. I didn't have to worry about anything work related. I didn't have to worry about oh man, we're having this problem at home, or you know, my family's going through this. It sounds bad, but I just taking a break from all of it, and I'm not stressed, I'm not worried. I'm just sitting here watching my fishing pole, and that's the only thing on my mind. I'm not thinking about anything else, and I started seeing through a period of time a gradual change in me just becoming calmer as a person, because I was letting myself get to a point where I could be calm.
Up next, a special ceremony that recently took place and why 2 divers will always remember it.
Daddy?
Yeah, buddy?
How many nickels are in a dollar?
There are 20 nickels in a dollar.
How do birds fly? Does milk really make my bones stronger?
Yeah.
Daddy, when we die, will we go to heaven?
Do you have the answer to life's biggest question? Call the 700 Club. We'll help you find answers to the important questions life brings your way.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times best-selling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain, get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
Thanks for staying with On the Home Front. The Defense Department launched a new initiative in 2018 called This Is Your Military to highlight the work of service members. The initiative also has the goal of debunking myths about military service and increasing awareness among the American people. Using the hashtag #KnowYourMil, the DoD is sharing personal stories to inspire others. 2 divers share what it meant to be part of a unique ceremony. Staff Sergeant Fred Bible and Specialist Julio Melendez just buried the remains of Pearl Harbor survivor Lauren Bruner among those of his fellow crewmen on board the sunken USS Arizona. Bruner's remains will be the last to be buried in the wreckage.
When I initially joined, I had no idea what I was getting into. And I'm sure that I'll look back on this for the rest of my life as one of the greatest things I've done with the U.S. military. Since I was born, since I was raised, it's always been military. It's always been a dream of mine to become part of the United States military and part of the United States Army. And getting the opportunities that I have from the Army, it's been the best decision of my life.
Be careful. Recognize the fact that you're getting a headache, you're getting tired, anything like that.
I joined the Army because, I don't know, maybe it's a textbook answer, but I wanted to serve my country and do my time. Once I joined, I was in for a little of a rude awakening, you know, wasn't quite prepped for it, but I don't regret it at all. And it was what I wanted, something special, and to be a part of a tight-knit community. There's not a lot of us, so I don't know, I feel like we're kind of like unicorns just walking around sometimes. Some people are like, man, like, we didn't even know you existed, you know?
Me and my dive buddy are going to be helping each other out, crossing them and making sure that we're okay.
One of just 4 remaining survivors from the USS Arizona died Tuesday in California. He was 98 years old. Bronner was the second to last man to leave the USS Arizona before it sank during the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941.
Today we did the rehearsal for the internment of a U.S. Navy sailor who survived the bombing of Pearl Harbor. He passed away recently, and he wanted to be interred on the USS Arizona with his fellow seamen. So the U.S. Army Dive, 7th Dive Detachment, was selected to help with the ceremony.
He was the second to last sailor to exit the Arizona while it was sinking during Pearl Harbor. And he is also the last one, as far as we know, who is going to be interred at the Arizona. So that's what makes this event so special.
It's very eye-opening that I could be a part of something that honorable, to take part in the ceremony, and not only take part in the ceremony, but to be the man that interred him on the USS Arizona. I do feel like I have to get this right. I don't feel like I have to get this right. I know I have to get it right.
It's just such a huge event to be able to, and an honor to be able to bury this man at the Arizona with so much history that happened, especially with these Mark Vs that have been retired since the 80s. The Mark V is your classic diving hat. Huge part of history. Not too comfortable, but it's worth it. It just goes along with the time period that Pearl Harbor happened, you know, and it's just part of the whole experience, you know. It just makes it that much more special.
We're going to have scuba divers descend in the water carrying the urn. After that, me and the other diver will descend into the turret and I'm going to find a nice spot.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after the break.
Christians around the world are standing with the Israelis. But why? In CBN's free magazine, Friends of Israel, you'll discover why Christians are supporting the Jewish state, how Israel is fulfilling prophecy as a light to the nations, and ways you can pray for the people of Israel. Israel needs the support of friends like you. Call now or go to CBN.com to get your free copy of Friends of Israel.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the work of your Spirit, Lord God, with this movement of getting the Bible,
yes,
Lord, into public schools.
Watch The Prayer Link, Tuesday nights at 6:30.
Hey, if you're tired and exhausted all day, you can't think clearly, and you really just need a cup or even a pot of coffee to get through your day, then join me, Dr. Josh Axe, for this new series where I'm going to teach you how to transform your diet and use essential oils and supplements to get a better night's sleep.
Get Protect Your Sleep and live your best life with innovative information from 5 leading sleep experts.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
Discover a sleep-enhancing bedtime routine, how to put insomnia to rest, learn how to relieve pain that disturbs sleep, and much more in Protect Your Sleep.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 to get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Don't miss out on this brand new series.
Roman soldiers destroy the Second Temple of Jerusalem.
Centuries of eyewitnesses say the temple treasures survived. But where are they?
They went from Jerusalem to Rome, Rome to Carthage, Carthage to Byzantium.
Historians are silent about what happened to it next.
CBN Documentaries presents the worldwide release of Treasures of the Second Temple.
So does it still exist today?
A story of mystery.
Where is it?
Calamity. Most of the victims were butchered. And destiny.
The possibility to dig is impossible.
Get your copy of Treasures of the Second Temple. Yours for a gift of any amount to CBN Documentaries.
Before we go, we'll introduce you to a unique member of the military who serves proudly. Meet Bo, the 158th Fighter Wing Therapy Dog.
Hi, I'm Trish Dempsey. I'm the Director of Psychological Health. This guy's Beauregard. We call him Bo. He is a 4-year-old Labradoodle. Bo helps reduce the barriers and the stigma around seeking mental health. I can walk into a place and it's not, oh, I'm walking up to the Director of Psychological Health. It's, oh, I'm going to go over and say hi to Bo. Or if people want to make an appointment with me or come in my office, they can come in. And if, you know, it is a fairly high traffic area where my office is, so if someone sees them leaving, it doesn't have to be, oh, I just had a session with the DPH. It can be like, oh, I was just petting Bo. I was just, you know, snuggling with Bo. So he's got a pretty good intuition regarding members and if they need support. But he is, you know, your typical dog. He loves car rides, he loves to hike, he loves to swim. Fetch is his favorite thing. Sometimes you'll catch us in the hallway playing fetch, and he just loves being around people. I think the DPH program is vital in that it helps Air members make sure that they are mentally fit to serve. So not every DPH program has a therapy dog. I believe there's over 90 Air Guard bases, and to my knowledge, there's maybe 10 or at most 20 therapy dogs. So it's a pretty low percentage, but we're seeing such great benefits on the impact it has with airmen as well as with the culture that there's been a push for more DPHs to get therapy dogs. Research suggests that therapy animals and just the motion of petting an animal can reduce stress, reduce symptoms of depression, reduce symptoms of anxiety. And so of course members have that, and it's just, you know, morale boosting when they see him. I mean, this is a great place to work. I love the airmen that are here, and I love being able to support them and them getting the mission done. I feel honored every time that I meet with a member, every time that a member is vulnerable and shares their story with me and allows me in to help them be the best airman they can be. I feel honored. I feel honored to come to work here every day and serve beside the men and women of the B-Team.
That's all for today, but you can find more of our exclusive news coverage at cbnnews.com. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.